Hello everyone, this is Dr.Syamala Devi from the Department of MBA International Business Management Studies. Okay, and today's our topic is regarding the components or elements of planning. Okay, so what were the elements of planning? Objectives, projects, policies, procedures, strategies, methods, budgets, rules, and schedules. All these were the elements of planning. As planning consists of several components that are generally bound together, these elements or components are also known as plans. Okay, so Uh, we'll discuss now about what were the objectives, what were the projects, what were the policies, okay, everything. So first of all, first element of planning is objectives. So what does objectives means? So the first step in planning is a statement of objectives to be achieved by the enterprises. Objectives are the ends towards which the activities of an organization are directed. And according to McFarland, he gave a definition regarding objectives. So, what is that means? Objectives are the goals, aims, or purposes that organizations wish to achieve over varying periods of time. Okay, objectives are known by different names. As I said before in this definition, different names like goals, aims, purposes, mission, target, everything can be considered as objective. Okay, and a manager must determine overall and departmental, short term and long term, economic and social objectives so as to make planning effective. Okay, so objectives are a prerequisite for planning. No planning is possible without setting up of objectives. Objectives are not only helpful in planning but also in other managerial functions like organizing, directing, and controlling. And clear cut objectives help in proper decision making and achieving better results. Okay, so objectives make very human activity purposeful and serve as a benchmark of measuring the efficiency and effectiveness of the enterprise. So planning without objectives will become an empty exercise. For example, an organization may have an objective of increasing sales by 10%. Okay, this is an objective. Or else, earning a reasonable rate of return on investment. We know ROI, return on investment. Okay, or else, earn a 20% profit from business. So, all these are the objectives of the organization. Okay, and second one is project. So, what does a project means? Basically, a project is a specific program. Okay, a project is a part of a major plan with a distinctive objective and with a definite time schedule for completion. Okay, project means definitely it should be completed within a specified time, and it is a part of plan. It is not a major one. It is the project is considered as a major plan with a distinctive objective. And for example, if we take introduction of large automatic plant, okay, the construction of a building or the introduction of a new product or examples of these projects. Okay, so such projects can be isolated and taken up for completion separately. The execution of a project is usually entrusted to a project manager. The project manager formulates the plans, programs, and policies necessary for the purpose. A separate task force is set up on ad hoc basis to plan and execute these projects. Okay, so projects are nothing but we can call it as a specific program which should be completed in a definite time schedule. Okay, next coming to policies. So what are policies? Policies are guides for thinking and action. They lay down the limits within which decisions are to be made. Okay, in which time. So these are the policies. If objectives are endpoints of planning, policies are the ways in which the objectives can be realized. The policies are generally framed by top level management. Policies are formulated in broad and general terms. However, a manager at any other level may lay down policies within the limits of his authority and also within limits set by policies of his superiors. And a policy may be in the form of a verbal, written, or implied. Okay, and a policy is not static, means it is not a rigid one. It is flexible. Policy is. Why? Because it may be modified or reviewed in the light of internal and external environments by the organizations. And here, policies must be definite, positive, clear, and unambiguous. They should be communicated to those responsible for the implementation of these policies, because if at all they are not communicated properly to the right person who is going to be implemented that policies, so the policy objective will come deteriorated. Okay, therefore policies should be clear, definite, and at the same time they should be communicated. Okay, and coming to procedures. So what are procedures? Procedures are the details of actions or guidelines, okay, for the achievement of business objectives. Procedures gives details of how things are to be done. Okay, how things are done, to be done means they indicate the specific manner. Okay, a chronological order, a sequence in order to achieve a certain activity or in order to perform a certain activity. Okay, and these should be helpful in implementation. These procedures should be helpful in implementation of policies, procedures, and also determine the policy of responsibility and accountability. Okay. Therefore, procedures means they lay down the sequence, or they are laid down a chronological order, that actions to be performed or the activities that to be performed. And here, a procedure is a guide to action, whereas a policy is a guide to thinking. Okay, one is action. Okay, distinguished. How can we distinguish a procedure from policy? Means a procedure is guide to action, whereas a policy is guide to thinking. Okay, policies were guidelines for taking decisions, and procedures are systematic ways of handling regular events. Therefore, policies offer scope for interpretation, whereas procedures do not offer any scope for interpretation. Okay, why? Because policies can be changed, they can be modified, but here in procedure a sequence is laid down. Therefore, procedures, they do not have any scope for interpretation. Coming to strategy. So what does strategy means? Strategy means actually it is a counter plan. We can say that strategy is a counter plan, and a perfect strategy can be built up only on perfect knowledge of plans of competitors in industry. Okay, so why do we go for strategies? Means strategy is a comprehensive plan, a counter plan for accomplishing an organization's objectives. They are formulated basically to meet the challenges of special circumstances. Okay, and in strategies we will see three dimensions. So what are those three dimensions? Means determining long term objectives, adopting a particular course of action, allocating resources necessary to achieve objectives. Okay, these are the dimensions that were involved in the strategies. Basically strategy means this definitely it is related to long term objectives. Okay, and it is related to a particular action, plan of action, and it is related to how the resources should be allocated in order to complete that course of action, right? Next one, methods. So what does methods means? A method is the manual or mechanical means by which each operation is performed. It means an established manner of doing an operation. A method is one of the steps in procedure. Thus, a method is limited in scope than a procedure. Why? Because method is one of the steps that are followed in the procedures and programs. So, therefore, it is already established one. Okay, we are following the established method in our operation. So, that is known as it is a method. Next, coming to budgets. So, what does a budget means? Budget is a plan or a statement of expected results expressed in numerical terms like rupees, product units, and man hours. Since it is a statement of expected results, it is largely used as an instrument of managerial control. Okay, so when we are expecting the results and when we are framing a statement, okay, a plan regarding our action, okay, there we will have a control. Manager has a control on all these aspects, and it provides a standard by which actual operations can be measured and checked. Okay, here in budgets we will have standards and actuals. Okay, so budget serves two purposes, planning as well as control also. Why? Because at the end of the day, the measurement will be done on the standards with actuals. Okay. Next, coming to rules. What does rules means? Rules are the simplest and most specific type of standing plans. They are standing plans guiding what to do and what not to do. We all know that rules means they should be followed strictly, okay, wherever we are. For example, if we are in universities, if we are studying in universities means according to the university rules we have to follow. So that is a rule. Abiding rule means we have to face some uh, or violation of rules means we have to face some consequences, like we have to face the disciplinary action. Okay, so plans demands a specific action. So what have to do and what should not to do. Scheduling means schedules. A schedule specifies time limits within which activities are to be completed. Scheduling is the process of establishing a time sequence for the work to be done. A schedule lays down a timetable fixing starting and finishing dates for different activities. Schedules are essential for avoiding delays. Okay. Therefore, schedules are very, very important. According to schedule, we will work. Okay. According to the timetable schedule for preparing our exams, we will follow according to those timetable. So they cannot be changed and delays cannot be seen if we lay down the schedules, which are nothing but a timetable. Okay. Like at this time we have to start and at this time we have to finish the work. Okay, so these are all about the elements or components of planning.